Hello and welcome back to another week of Full Tuck, the Wingspan Podcast with me, Aidan.
And me, Adam.
So welcome back, Adam. We're back for another week.
Back for another week. Welcome to our listeners on YouTube.
Welcome.
Not welcome to our viewers on Imgur, though, as we've just found out.
I know.
So Imgur's been banned. Well, international listeners will be fine.
Yeah.
Won't they?
Yeah. So all you our massive Japanese and Turkish fan bases.
We've got a bit of following in the Netherlands, is my understanding.
Okay.
Yeah, genuinely.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe a bit of Spain as well is all I've seen. But
oh, wow.
Yeah, genuinely.
Oh, that's brilliant. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah. The rest of the world. So those guys can look at the Imgur photos, but the UK listeners aren't allowed. We've just found out, listener, that Imgur has been banned in the UK as of yesterday due to some data compliance thing. So we're going to find an alternative method for you to share our our weekly opening hand challenge. Because we know that that's so important to you, and it's important to us.
It is.
How have you been, mate?
Yeah, good. Had a lovely weekend away over the weekend. Actually, was up in the North Yorkshire Dales.
Lovely.
For a nice weekend away. I went for a lovely meal out. It was great, and most importantly, played a lot of Wingspan. Yes, again.
That's what you want.
Yeah,
yes,
exactly. It's brilliant. So Ellie and I had quite a few games while we were away in our lovely little Airbnb stay, and
took the big box up.
And took the big box up, and. We were so into it that one of the first things that we did when we got back on Sunday was play another game of Wingspan.
Christ.
It was just non-stop.
Christ.
It was great. No, so it was really good.
Do you not want to play any other games?
Did think about it. Did consider it. Did an Ark Nova popped into my head, another board game for those unfamiliar. It's
more animals.
Animal-based, zoo-based, another brilliant game. So
how many games did you play?
Maybe 4.
Why don't you do like one of the campaigns?
I know. Well, we should. We really should. That's a good idea. Not something I've ever done. I know you have, haven't you?
Yeah, I've done a few of the campaigns. So as far as I'm aware, there's 3 for Wingspan. And I can't remember them off the top of my head.
Okay.
Maybe we should talk about them one week because a couple of them I found really, really fun. And what I like about the campaigns is they change the game just slightly, but not too much. And there's like an ongoing theme or an ongoing bonus. And so I seem to remember one of the campaigns. I think you had a base bird which you took with you forward every single game, and so it always started on your mat. But then there would be some handicap that game, for example, like you were only allowed to get eggs once, or you were only allowed to fill the first 2 columns of the trees, or something like that. And I find them really fun, just because it's slightly, especially if you're playing with the same people, it can just change the game. It can mean you can do multiple games in a row, can't you? Whilst keeping them interesting without getting a bit samey.
Yeah, no, that sounds really good fun. Wasn't there I'm sure you let us know about one, like a new one recently.
Well, that's the one, and I had a read about it, and it looks fantastic.
Yeah.
I think there's something like 12 games, and there's this letter sort of in every other game, because it's talking about conservation. So from the conservationist, about how you're trying to conserve these birds. It looks fantastic. We should try it sometime. And, we could do a playthrough or something, maybe. I don't know. One day.
Yeah, no, I'd love that. So, sounds good. What about yourself? Any games recently?
Have I played any games this week? Yes, I played one game with... Oh, it was really endearing, actually. Me and Harriet played with 2 of our friends who... they've only played 2 or 3 times before. And so before coming over to play, they played a revision match.
Oh, no
They
way.
turned up and they went, "We've actually been revising." So what do you mean? They said, "Well, we've just played a game, so we were so worried that we wouldn't know the rules and we'd embarrass ourselves."
So sweet.
It was very, very sweet. I felt a bit guilty that that's the way that we made them feel in the first place. But it was good. It did make me think though, because in other games with new players, like you've mentioned Ark Nova.
Yeah.
In Ark Nova, if someone is a new player, they will get an easier map to play on, which makes the game inherently easier for them.
Yeah,
but we don't have that in Wingspan. Would you think... So I was thinking about, is there a way that you can make games more easy for the first time a player plays?
Well, so I suppose the way the game makers might answer that is the Swift Start card. So that there is
so that's if everyone's new.
Yeah, well, although I suppose you could adapt it, couldn't you? So you could start by starting with Swift Start cards and saying these are your first couple of goes, and that's what they do, isn't it? That there are steps that you can follow to say, if you're new to the game, try these couple of steps, and this will kind of get you off to a start. So I suppose you could do that to give someone a bit of guidance to get a feel for what bird powers are and how they work. But I do agree. When I've played with brand new players before, the step they find really difficult is step 1 of I've got to choose out of these 5 cards and 5 food, and like
exactly.
how am I supposed to do that when I don't know what is good and what isn't good?
I mean, I know sometimes you see people play open, so in their first games everyone plays open, but then still for them to think about their game and to think about someone else's game is quite challenging. And so I wondered, like, maybe you give them an extra nectar at the start. Is that a fair way of or something equivalent, or maybe they get a free card draw halfway through? And I don't mean to like dumb it down for those people, but just sometimes without telling them, like, actually you should do it this way because you'll thank me later. Do you see what I mean? It's about letting people. It's about it's letting people learn themselves, but also definitely. you want to make sure they enjoy it as much as possible.
Maybe there is no choice at the start. You get 5 cards and you get to keep all the food. It feels like a really big advantage.
I like that idea.
It takes that choice away.
Yeah.
Which is obviously impossible if you don't really know what you're doing.
I like that idea.
Lets you just get cracking.
That's a really good idea, actually, because sometimes they're like, I don't know what card to keep, I don't know what food to take, and then they sort of go, well, I say, well, let me have a look, and you tell them what to do, and then they just do what you tell them to, and so actually that's a really good idea. Maybe I'll think about that next time. I mean, I have introduced it to like 3 other people this week as well. Sold it to 3 other people, and I say sold in inverted commas because I'm constantly, anyone I meet, I'm like, have you played this? Have you heard of this game called Wingspan?
I know. Well, one of my bosses at work, I actually explained about this pod to. And
oh, did you?
Yeah.
What did they say?
They were intrigued.
Are they a Wingspan player?
They'd not heard of Wingspan.
Right.
They weren't really a podcast.
Cracked on with the pod anyway, though.
Well, I'm not sure if they've listened to it yet. But Dave, if you're listening.
It's good to have you, Dave. I genuinely did the same with Patrick last night. He's never played the game before, but he said, I'm going to listen to the podcast. And I thought, that is true friendship, that is, isn't it? Try and bump up the numbers. Excellent. Right. Distractions.
So this week... I'm sure many of you will be tuning in, very excited to hear what our thoughts are this week, because it is an exciting week.
It's an exciting week because we're going to see how Aidan is somehow going to create a water chain out of an opening hand that clearly does not suit a water chain.
I always find a way. But more importantly, we are going to have a look through and have a chat about some of these new fan-designed Wingspan bird packs, which are really exciting. I mean, they look very fun.
They do look fun. Yeah, they've done it again.
They have.
God
done
damn it!
It's
God
brilliant.
Damn it, Jamie Stegmaier, you've done it again.
And any new Wingspan content is always brilliant. It's always appreciated. But some of these powers look great fun. There looks like there's a lot of interactivity, some really good stuff. Which we'll get into.
Sounds good. Shall we take a break, have a look at this opening hand, think how we're going to play it, and then come back?
Yeah, sounds great.
See you in a minute. Okay, welcome back to Full Tuck, the Wingspan podcast, and we are going to get right in with our opening hand for this week, and I am excited for this week. I really am.
I can tell. I can see it.
It's a good hand. I think there's a lot to talk about. So I'm going to explain the 5 birds very quickly, then Aidan will give us the tray. Bonus cards, round goals. How does that sound? Right, our 5 birds. The first, the rose-breasted Grosbeak. This can only live in the trees. It costs a witch tea, a wheat, and a cherry. It's 6 points. It's a brown. When activated power, gain 1 wheat or cherry from the bird feeder if there is one. Second bird, rainbow Lorikeet. It can only live in the trees. It costs a cherry and a nectar. It's worth 1 point. It's also a brown when activated power. Discard 1 nectar to the spent nectar space for your trees. If you do, gain 2 foods from the bird feeder. Number 3, the violet green swallow. This bird can live anywhere. It costs 2 witch tea grubs and it's worth 3 points. It's also a brown when activated power. Tuck a card from your hand behind this bird. If you do, draw 1. Number 4, Bell's Vireo. Lives in the trees or the fire. 2 witch tea grubs, 4 points. Star nest. When played, draw 2 new bonus cards and keep 1. Last, the burrowing owl. Only lives in the fire. Cost a witch tea grub and a rat. It's worth 5 points. Also a star nest. It's a skull and crossbones power. Brown power. When activated, roll all dice not in the bird feeder. If any are rats, gain 1 rat and cash it on this card.
And then we've got some bonus cards here. So we've got the Forest Ranger, which is consecutive birds in the forest with ascending or descending scores. 3 points for 3 consecutive, 5 points for 4 consecutive, and 8 points for 5 consecutive birds. And then the Wetland Population Monitor, which is different nest types in your wetlands. 2 to 3 types is 3 points, 4 types is 5 points, and 5 types is 8 points. So two Asia bonus cards there.
Go on then, I'll do the trade. I'll do the trade. Spotted towhee lives in the fire or the trees. Cost a witch tea wheat or a cherry. 0 points. When activated, gain 1 wheat from the supply. Second in the tray is the southern cassowary. Only lives in the trees. It costs you 2 cherries and an anything. It's 4 points. It's a white when played power. Discard a bird from your trees and put this bird in its place. Don't pay an egg cost. If you do, lay 4 eggs on this bird and gain 2 cherries from the supply. And lastly, beautiful bird, trumpeter swan, only lives in the water. It costs 2 wheats and an anything, and it's worth 9 points. Doesn't have a power, just 9 points.
And then we've got some end of round goals. So round 1 is a no goal. Round 2 is white or no powers. Round 3 is sets of 3 eggs in your wetlands, fire and forest. And then round 4 is cards in hand.
And it's a 4-player game, and we're going first.
We are.
Just staring at each other. What do you want to do?
So, well, go on. You kick us off this week. What do you think?
Okay, so my thoughts. It's a no-goal game.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to push a chain more, or I'm trying to push bonus cards more. I'm basically accepting that I'm going to fill my board. My chances of filling the board are much higher, and therefore my chances of scoring on bonus cards are much higher. So the entire game I'm thinking about bonus cards here. Or I'm thinking about a chain, and it can't be just a standard chain. It has to be a chain which gets me 2 resources. Okay, so if it's an eggs chain, it has to tuck cards, or if it's a tucking chain, it has to get me food or eggs.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that because you've got 3 extra goes across the game, and so if it's just a tucking chain that just tucks, you'll probably get full same, or you won't make it work, I think. Or if it's an egg chain, you'll get full of eggs. So I'm thinking you need to get chains with two different things that work together.
Yeah. Okay.
My second thought, 4-player game, there's going to be some freebies. Okay. So everything that I'm thinking, all my decisions are basically based on predicated on those 2 facts. And then thirdly, given it's a no-goal game and it's a 4-player game, I'm going to probably ignore the end of round goals unless they really suit me.
Yeah, sure.
That's a long-winded way of saying what birds I'm going to keep. Yeah. I think I'm keeping 4 birds.
Okay.
I'm keeping the rainbow lorikeet, which is discard a nectar to the spent space. I'm keeping the violet green swallow, which is a tuck a card to draw a card. I'm keeping Bell's Vireo, and I'm also keeping the burrowing owl. Right.
Interesting. Okay.
My first go, I am probably picking up the trumpeter swan, but I'm not fully decided. And what I'm doing is I'm going to play the rainbow lorikeet first, and then I'm going to either play the trumpeter swan or the violet green swallow so that the rainbow lorikeet goes in the trees. That's the card which you allow discarded nectar to the spent nectar space for your trees. If you do, gain 2 from the bird feeder. That sets up your game, doesn't it? You're going to win the nectar in the trees for that game, and you're just going to get so much free food, and you've got good control over the bird feeder. So everyone should keep that, play it first in their trees.
Yeah.
You set yourself up then. Then I'm either going to play the trumpeter swan in the water, or I'm going to play the violet green swallow in the water. And the reason I say or is because I'm doing everything I can to get the violet green swallow in the trees this game. And I don't know if you think that sounds weird.
No, I can definitely see a logic.
I think the reason I'm trying to do that is because your 2 strongest powers in that opening hand are the rainbow lorikeet and the violet green swallow. Yeah. So you want to be activating them both on the same go. And so that would be my initial plan. I'd be keeping the wetland population monitor, so different nest types in the water. And then I think it depends on how the rest of the game well, basically, if there's someone who's playing a card which gives me free cards, if Jack's playing and he plays Savvy's Warbler basically, right? Then I'm putting the violet green swallow in the trees, because then I know I'm going to have free cards to tuck. Yeah. If not, the violet green swallow is going in the water, because I'm not going to have the free cards to tuck it in the trees. And then, to be fair, it works really well with the wetland population monitor, which is different nest types in your water. Very few Canada nest, it's called cavity nest, isn't it?
Yeah.
There are very few cavity nest birds that live in the water. And then my last 2 points, Bell's Vireo, it's a bonus card, but it's a star nest.
Yeah. Excellent.
And that's why I'm keeping the burrowing owl as well. It's a star nest, and that's why I'm keeping it, because
That's
I
very
know
interesting.
I'm going to get bonus cards which benefit me, which are to do with the nests. And then, to be fair, in my first round, I've also then qualified for white or no powers in round 2, so that's my opening gambit.
It's a long way off, but yeah, no, I'm also keeping 4 birds.
Oh, I was not expecting that.
But I'm keeping a slightly different 4. So I'm also keeping the rainbow lorikeet, the violet green swallow, and Bell's vireo. I'm not keeping the burrowing owl. I am keeping the rose-breasted grosbeak.
Okay.
And the reason for that, so the rose-breasted grosbeak is one of these 3 food cost 6 point forest birds that gets you extra food if they're in the bird feeder. There's a kind of a small collection of them. And I've had a real growing appreciation for these birds recently. Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting.
I didn't used to, but I think they're generally 6 points is a lot of points. And I think you might kind of initially only look at the power and think, well, there's definitely better powers in the game. And that's true. There are definitely better brown powers in the game. But a decent brown power combined with 6 points is pretty good.
Yeah.
And particularly when it gets you further up the forest chain to get you more nectar, I quite like it.
Yeah.
And I think the combination of the rose-breasted
swimming
grosbeak...
in food.
Exactly. The combination of the rose-breasted grosbeak and the rainbow lorikeet should mean you're swimming in food, and therefore you don't have to activate that chain as much as you think.
It's interesting. It's 2 different uses of the rainbow lorikeet there from you and me, whereas yours is, I'm going to try and use it so that I don't need to get food. I need to get food as little as possible. Whereas my usage here is, this is a good power. I want to use it as much as possible. It's an interesting take there. Fine. So what are you going to do? You're going to play one of them. What's your first go? Are you picking anything from the tray?
No. So I'm going to leave the tray. I like the Trumpeter Swan. Everyone likes the Trumpeter Swan. He's a great card. It's 9 points. BPB 9 points. He's great, but I don't think he's
point bomb.
That he's as useful to you in round 4 as he is in round 1. And and I think there are plenty of big point birds in the game. I'm happy to leave him, rather than spending a play just picking up a card without any brown powers and just picking up 1 card. So I agree with you. I'm extremely tempted to get the violet green swallow in the forest, because then it creates this lovely chain.
Yeah, so you wouldn't get it in the trees, because that's also its great benefit. Sorry, not in the trees, in the fire, because that's its great benefit.
Well, that's another benefit, isn't it? But no, because it's the only card that can live in the wetlands, and it's vital you get a wetlands bird. So you get up to the 2 card draw. Otherwise, you're completely hamstrung. And so I think, unfortunately, you have to just slap down.
I've got a slight dislike of playing birds like the violet green swallow in my first column of the wetlands. So a bird that allows you to tuck to draw or tuck to lay. Actually, maybe not so much a tuck to draw, but a tuck to lay an egg. I don't like playing them first,
right?
Because you need a bird in this, because you're not. Well, I'm trying to think. If it's a tuck to lay an egg, you're only ending up net positive 1 bird, and so you don't have 3 spare birds to play around.
Only initially, though, and I think ultimately, most of the time, if you draw 2 random birds, say, probably one of them you're not that fast on. Probably. There are going to be the odd time where you pick up 2 good ones, and you can always take the choice to not tuck one. It doesn't feel very
My view of those, the real power of that bird, it's not the fact that it allows you to tuck a card, it's the fact that it allows you to draw a card either when you're activating the trees or the eggs. And so there can be times when, in a 4-player game, for example, someone next to you will reset the bird feeder. The tray. I get my words muddled. my words. I'm getting everything muddled today. There will be a time in a 4-player game when the person to your right resets the bird tray, right? And then something lovely comes up, the ruff, for example, or the gala, okay? And they'll go, Adam's just got cards 3 goes in a row. He's not going to get cards again. But if you've got the violet green swallow out in the trees or the fire, it allows you to pick up that lovely bird in the tray without derailing your plans for the round. So that's why I really like trying to keeping them in the trees or the fire.
I know what you mean, and that's why I kind of say that I would love to be able to, but I just don't see any other way other than drawing the Trumpeter Swan and playing him. But then even then, you've not got a brown power down there. It doesn't do anything. It just gets you up to the 2 card draw. And so to me, I'd say, unless, as you say, another player, your first go, say you play one of the forest birds, and then someone else plays a Savage Warbird, or someone else plays a Spotted Sandpiper, where all players draw a card or something like that. And if you, in that situation,
this hand is very much for me. If I was going third or fourth, I reckon I'd probably keep different starting cards because I'd depend on what other people would play. If they play a beneficial bird, for example, or like to other players, or if they reset the tray and something else comes up in the tray, I'm not set in stone on those birds. It's a good one.
It is a good one. To be honest, it would be one of those hands that if I picked that up and had a look at it, I'd be like, this is good. Round one.
You do that every game, mate.
But round one sorted, isn't it?
Every game you get that look on your face. You kind of go a bit quiet, and then you sort of smugly look over everyone and go, "This is the best hand I've ever had." I think. What would be interesting is if we both did like a playthrough of this opening hand, and you'd see how our games would differ from it. Because I think the games would differ significantly with this opening hand because you can take it in different ways.
I think a playthrough is a great idea.
I don't know how we'd ever set that up. Could you do that on the app somehow?
Possibly.
Can you doctor a game on the app so that you get the exact same style?
Not as far as I know, but we can work on it. I think there's a way. I think we can do a playthrough.
Yeah, good. All right. Well, as always, guys, let us know what you think about this. Write in, email.
We have had a comment from Jack on Spotify.
Jack's done a very Jack's done basically what we've done. I think.
Yeah,
he's kept 3 of the 4.
He's kept 3 of the 5. So he's kept the Rainbow, Lorikeet, the Swallow, and Bell's Vireo. We didn't talk about bonus cards, so the Wetland bonus card is the one I'd go with as well as Jack, because otherwise, to me, you've got a 1 point and a 6 point bird that's going in the forest, and then the other card is
the other one is it ascending and descending scores,
which is really hard because they can't be equal.
This is the problem, and so for me with the scores ones, there's 2 things in there. The bird has to live in the trees, and it has to be a score. So it as well as qualifying for the round goal, i.e. the trees, it also has to qualify temporally in the game,
exactly.
Right? Whereas the different nest types in the water, it's not like you need to get them in a particular order.
No.
And so you're immediately putting yourself on the back foot with that one. I can count the number of on my hand, on one hand, the number of times I've got 5 in a row, 5 consecutive birds with ascending or descending scores.
And the other thing about the wetlands one is, maybe getting all 5 different nest types down in one habitat is a tricky task. Yeah. There's no doubt about that. So I think I would look at that bonus card and say, scoring it is going to be hard here.
Yeah.
But getting 2 different nest types in a habitat,
very easy,
almost guaranteed.
Yeah.
So it's a bonus card you're very rarely going to score 0 on.
Yeah.
Granted, you're very rarely going to score 8, but you might.
Yeah, good point. That is a good point.
And you're going to get the low points in it.
So big score.
With you, Jack.
What do you reckon your score would be at the end of this game?
Do you know what? It depends a bit on my card draw after I play that Swallow down. I think if I'm getting something else that give me a touch in. What do I think I'll score?
It's a 4-player game. No goal first round.
No goal first round. I think I'm getting 120 to 125.
Really?
I'd be disappointed if I didn't get that. I think with that hand and that.
I'm getting 126.
Oh. Yeah, see, this is why we need to do a playthrough.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, I'm getting one more than you.
Minimum. Usually. Yeah, big time.
I do. Right, okay, moving on.
Yeah, I want to get stuck into these new cards. Come on.
Let's take a break and we'll come back and talk about the new cards. Okay?
Yeah. New cards time, baby. Let's go.
So, Jamie Stegmaier, Stonemaier Games, and some very, very committed fans have treated us, haven't they? I suppose that's the thing to say, haven't they? So there's going to be 6 fan-designed bird packs, each with 25 birds in, which are coming from countries or global regions which have already been covered, but that the fans said, we want this bird, or we want these birds, and they're coming in a couple of weeks' time, aren't they?
They are,
Out the blue. No run-up, no warning.
And this has been going on in the background. It must have been.
Just like boom. Boom, you're getting 150 new birds.
Brilliant stuff. So, huge shout out to Jamie. Huge shout out to Travis. I'm going to mispronounce this, but Vilsa, who has clearly had a huge hand in designing some of these bird packs as well, and obviously all the designers of each of the individual packs. I won't go through all of their names because there's quite a few, but absolutely brilliant work. And thank you for more Wingspan content.
Yeah. So we've been
much.
teased with the 6-packs. The 6-packs are birds of Canada, birds of continental Europe, additional Asian avians. There's birds of New Zealand, which there's also, it's got the Maori writing underneath. I don't know if you've noticed that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Then there's British birds, and then there's birds of the USA. I can't do a USA accent. You grew up in the USA. Can you do a USA accent?
A couple of years growing up in the US of A.
Oh dear.
Stick
to what you know. Stick to the birds. I reckon. That's terrible.
We've been teased with 2 birds from each pack.
Yeah, so we've got 12 birds.
12 birds, which is certainly enough to keep us going, isn't it?
Yeah. What are your initial thoughts, mate?
Broadly, so my initial thoughts are, I may have mentioned this, but I'm very excited about these new birds.
Yes.
I think it's really cool. I love the idea, and I love the fan involvement. So in terms of some of the specific powers that have been teased, or the specific birds that have been teased, I think there are some really interesting powers, some stuff in there which I think is quite powerful.
Yeah.
And there's, there also seems to be a bit of a lean on bonus card birds, doesn't there?
Yeah, I don't know if they're just the ones that they're sharing with us.
I think it probably is.
So when they teased the first 4, when we'd recorded this time last week, we had 4 of them out, and the 4 that were teased, the 4 packs that we'd already seen the teasers for, all 8 of the birds were incredibly powerful.
Yeah,
and I was quite worried that the game was going to become unbalanced. But actually, when they released the last 2, which was the British birds and the birds of the USA, the powers seem much more reasonable. Definitely. And so I'm actually glad now that I don't think all the birds are just going to be way overpowered. I think it's going to be nicely balanced. It's going to be lovely.
And they're going to have selected the kind of the window shot birds, as it were, to be birds that are maybe more interesting, maybe birds that are interesting because they are endangered species, which obviously leans itself into bonus card birds, and birds that might be more stereotypical of the region, or powers they're more proud of. So I guess they might be more powerful. Yeah,
John, speaking of endangered species, I'm going to tell you a brilliant fact about one of them. It's the blue duck.
Oh, yeah.
Blue duck. Okay. And the blue duck is from the birds of New Zealand, and it's called, I'm not even going to try and pronounce the, is it Weo? Oh, I just tried, didn't I? The Maori. The Maori.
Yeah.
The Maori, right?
I thought you were going to have a go at the Latin one then. I was very impressed. It's an incredibly long Latin one for the listeners who haven't had a look at this yet.
What do you mean, mate? It's just a Hyemelius malacolophilus.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Blue duck. Oh, Christ. I've only just seen the points. So blue duck only lives in the water. It costs 2 witch teas and a cherry. It's worth 8 points.
Yeah.
It's a cavity nest, or a Canada nest. We were literally just talking earlier about how you don't get many cavity nests in the water.
Well, now you do.
So now you do. Holds 3 eggs, 73 centimetres. Brown, when activated power, reset the bird feeder. If there are no rats in the bird feeder, lay 1 egg on this bird. What do you think about that power?
So I was looking at this one. I think
good.
it's an interesting kind of spin on like the white-bellied seagull, which is reset the bird feeder and cache a fish or a rat on this bird if you get one. Obviously, laying an egg rather than caching a food is more powerful.
Yes.
You get more flexibility. You can use that egg to play birds. It's eggs in the wetlands, which is always a dream to see. I think the other power that it kind of harks to is the Eleonora's falcon, which is the power where I think it's roll or dice outside the bird feeder and lay an egg on this if any of them are rats. So it's an interesting spin on. I think
Eleonora's falcon is you roll the dice and give the rat to someone. If there's a rat, give the rat to
That's the black-shouldered kite. But good try.
One day I will catch you out. One day I will get you.
But no, I think, it's a cool power. Yep. I mean, you could have a game where if this came off...
Do you want to know where the power came from?
Oh, go on.
Yeah. So apparently the blue duck is endangered, and there are conservation efforts in the areas of New Zealand that it lives. Okay? And so stoats and other rodents eat the eggs of the blue duck, and so there are conservation efforts trying to reduce the number of rodents that eat these eggs. And so if you think about the how that translates to the game, you reset the bird feeder. If there are no stoats or rodents, you get to lay an egg.
Very cool.
Isn't that great?
I really like that.
So whatever fan came up with that, I absolutely love that.
Genius.
Please get in contact, because that is just a fantastic application of the real world.
Fan of the week.
Fan of the week. Let's do that. Fan of the week.
Well, that's brilliant.
That's good. That
really
matches
nice,
the 6 episodes we've got, so that's fine.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. Yeah.
No, that's excellent. I mean, I love its little kind of factoid on the bottom of the card as well.
What's it say?
That the black flags on its bill turn pink when it's agitated.
Interesting.
Maybe when stoats are around.
Maybe when stoats
I imagine it will become quite agitated with its eggs.
Yeah. At 8 points though, all powerful. And so I think that's what we were saying about how maybe they might be a bit too powerful.
So another one I want to draw your attention to was one that I think when we were looking through these, we both caught both of our eye and we had a chat about. So this is one of the additional Asian avians.
Yes.
Birds, a tongue twister there.
Yes.
The Bengal florican.
Great name.
I know. So I'll describe the bird first. So this is a bird that lives in the.
That bird.
I know, right? It lives in the grasslands. It eats a witch-tea, a wheat, and a cherry. So another expensive one. It has 6 points. It's a pebble nest, single egg capacity, and it has a bonus card when played power. Draw and discard 3 new bonus cards and score 1 of them now. For each point, cash 1 wheat from the supply on this bird. So what bird does this bird make you think of that's currently in the game? Come on.
Well,
when you look at this power...
It doesn't make me think of the bustard. Oh, no, it makes maybe the kakapo.
It makes you think of the bustard. Cashing wheat 4 points on a bonus card.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, that's the Great Indian Bustard.
Really? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's nice though. I like that though, because you're less likely to play that bird early. You're definitely going to play it later.
Yeah.
You'll play it in the last round, and then there'll come a point mid-game where the benefit just outweighs the drawback. So I do like that one.
I like it. I think it's a nice.
It's one of these risk. I feel like the Asian avian ones, they're leaning into the risk side of things. The Asia expansion leaned into risk.
Yeah, definitely.
And so so these 2 fan designed bird cards from the Asian ones, they also are leaning to risk things at risk a little bit, because the other one is draw 1 new bonus card, then up to 3 times discard the most recently drawn bonus card to draw 1 new bonus card. So that's like, do I stick, do I twist, do I stick, do I twist?
I love that power.
And so I wonder if all the expansions, the fan-made expansions, will hark back to their original expansion. So will the New Zealand ones predominantly focus on nectar? Will the Europe ones and the UK ones focus on blue end of round goals? That's what I'd be really interested to think
possibly,
about.
Yeah,
because I don't know if I'm just maybe extrapolating a bit too much there, but that's what I was hoping.
It's an interesting thought. I mean, certainly there's evidence of that particularly in the Asia one there. And maybe there's other clues as well that we're not picking up on, but yeah, no, I think they're very cool.
One thing I wanted to mention was the packaging. I think it's just fantastic.
That's stunning, isn't it?
It looks like it's going to be like it's not metal, but it's almost like an aluminium or foil. It's like a foil, isn't it?
Could be, yeah.
I just think so. When Asia came out, Stonemaier said we're moving away from plastics, and so they gave us wooden eggs.
Yeah.
Every single new Wingspan design now has like this composite recycled material instead of plastic, and I just love the fact that they just move away, because other games you just get a plastic wrapper. And that would go in the bin. And so there's a nice commitment to ecology and sustainability there, which I find it's just,
and rightly so.
Every time
there's no need. So,
and also the fans at the bottom of the at the bottom of the web page, it says all fans were compensated for their time.
I did see that. Yeah.
So how do you think they were compensated?
Who knows?
Discounts? Money?
Maybe,
The people who'd engage in this wouldn't want compensation. I wouldn't.
It'd be lovely to have your
I'd be proud
idea
to be part
published.
of it.
No, it'd be incredible, wouldn't
that would be my legacy.
We should have got involved, shouldn't we?
We should have got involved. Maybe we tried.
And
they just ignored us. Yeah.
Another cool one I wanted to bring up. Well, there's, I mean, it's kind of 2 of them, but the 2 ones I wanted to bring up are actually the Birds of Canada ones.
Ooh, okay, Canada.
So I think these are the first ones to be teased, actually. So there are 2 powers here. They're both quite small birds. But to discuss the one on the right first, so you've got the black-capped chickadee, which lives in the forest and costs either a witch tea or a wheat. 3 bird points, cavity nest, 3 egg capacity, and a white when played power, which is play a bird from the tray and pay its normal food and egg cost. So you get to play a bird directly. I know, it's so cool, isn't it? It's something I'd actually thought in the past of like, I think because there are other games that we play where, you know, there might be like a face-up element of the game. So Ark Nova is a good example where there's a face-up set of cards that you can draw from, or you can draw from a face-down deck, much like in Wingspan. And there is a mechanic in Ark Nova where you can use or play cards from that face-up area directly without taking them into your hand first. And I've always wondered if Wingspan would do that. So it is a good example.
It'd be difficult to implement though, because you'd need to it'd be opportunistic. You wouldn't be able to plan for it, because 100%. If you plan for it, you spend a go picking up the food, that bird might go from the tray.
Yeah.
So you need to be opportunistic. So you need to have enough food in your personal supply to both play this chickadee, which either cost a witch tea or a wheat, and then also play the bird afterwards. Right? So it could completely derail your plans, couldn't it? In like a good way. And it could also it might speed up your game so much as well. You don't have to spend a go picking up the bird to play it.
Yeah.
You just play the chickadee, play that bird, and boom, you're away.
It saves you almost 2 goes because I mean the birds are in the game already.
Chickadees, are they the most underrated set of birds in the game? We always come back to the chickadees and say how good they are.
I'm not sure if that
most of the chickadees in the game from memory are 1 or 2 points, but they only cost 1 food, and they normally you cash a wheat from the supply, don't you? Most of them are.
Well,
or cash something else from the supply, or you get a free food every time. I just think they are your absolute bankers. They're fantastic.
Cool. They're cool, but I like the variation, and actually, so the other Canada one, which is the blackpoll warbler. So this lives in the forest as well. Costs 2 witch teas, 2 bird points, bowl nest, 3 egg capacity, and a bonus card when played power. So it's another bird that allows you to play another bird. So it's play another bird in this bird's habitat, paying its normal food and egg cost. That's not an unfamiliar power. But this one says if you do, draw a bonus card as well. I mean that's brilliant. If you compare that to say some of the other birds in the game that allow you to play another bird. There are 2-point birds in the game that just say play another bird and pay its cost, and that's that. Okay, they probably only cost 1 food rather than 2 foods, but you get a bonus card as well if you get that early, and you can aim for that bonus card.
I can't see myself ever not playing this bird.
Exactly.
It only eats witch teas as well, so it qualifies for that end of round, that bonus card that people don't really go for that often.
Yeah. But I mean, it's also a risk, as you've said, because you're just drawing one.
Well, is it though? Card. Because you're still. Is it? But you're still getting your play to play your second bird.
Yeah, no, of course you are.
That's fantastic. Maybe should we talk about one more? And this is the last one. This is one that I think we both saw and we went, oh, this might be a game ruiner here.
Go on.
The black robin.
Yeah.
So this is from Birds of New Zealand. Also only eats 2 witch tea grubs. It's worth 4 points. It only lives in the trees. It's also a cavity nest or a Canada nest. When played, draw 2 new bonus cards. Starting with you, each player gives 1 bonus card to the player to their left. Discard 1 bonus card.
Yeah.
So when we read this, we both thought, oh my God, is this... You're going to have to pass a bonus card that you've been working on all game, aren't you?
But you're not.
But you're not, actually. We've read that wrong. It's actually a really sweet power, because if I play this bird, I then draw 2 new bonus cards. Let's say I now have 3 bonus cards in total. I then give 1 to the next player. That player then either gives up a bonus card that they don't like, or they give up that bonus card that they've just been given.
Yeah.
And then it goes around to the next player, and then it goes around to the next player. So actually, every single person gets to draw a bonus card, or at least 1 bonus card, and discard a bonus card that they don't like, which I think is very nice, is the first thing to say. But then secondarily, you then know the bonus card that you've passed to the person to your left.
Yeah.
That person to your left, might have bowl nest. You might have just given them bowl nest birds, okay, as your bonus card. Let's say that's the one I didn't want. I've given it to the person to my left, right? I then might see on their board that they've got 4 bowl nest birds, so they might keep that bonus card. So then me for the rest of the game knows exactly what they're trying to do. Yeah. It's such a smart way of slightly increasing the interconnectedness of the different mats without massively taking away from the fact that Wingspan is, at the end of the day, you're just building your own tableau. You're building your own board, you know. And I think that's absolutely ingenious, that one. Whoever invented that one, kudos to you.
Yeah.
Joint fan of the week.
And actually, ultimately, let's not throw that around too much. I do like it. But exactly as you say, it's a power that is only going to benefit all players. It's not going to take away from any player's game, and I think that plays into the whole thing of, there are loads.
I thought it was going to be a
games.
table thrower.
Well, exactly. There are loads of board games out there where you do attack other players. You do have I'm going to take this from you, or steal that from you, or detriment you in that way.
Well, that's why we love Wingspan.
But we don't have it in Wingspan.
That's what I always say. That's in my salesman speech. It is not a take that game. You never go, aha, take that. You're actually very relaxed playing your own thing. So that's why
it's lovely, isn't it?
So what are you going to get all 6?
So I've been mulling this over. I think it's going to be hard to not just go in. So what Jamie's recommended on the website is I'll read it word for word. So he said, we encourage you to try 1 or 2 of the pacts. If you like how they play, you can add a few more to a future order.
There was also that poll though, wasn't there?
Yeah,
which
there was
I voted in. How many different fan designed bird packs are you interested in buying? And the options are 0, 1, 2 to 4, or 5. And 51% of people, 5 or more, 51% of people have put 5 or more.
Yeah. I mean, look, ultimately, if you're a Wingspan fan, are you going to be like,
no,
I think
exactly.
Right, I'll leave that.
I think I'll be getting all 6.
Yeah, I think so.
Shuffling them into the top of the deck.
Yeah, as we normally do.
And just play through until you run out of them.
For clarity, those who don't do that or know what we're on about, when we get a new expansion, we won't integrate it into the whole deck because of we want to increase the rate of seeing new birds. So what we'll normally do, shuffle our deck as it is at the moment. Take maybe the top half or third of that, and then shuffle the new cards into that. So we're getting
so normally I'll invite people around to do. I'll pre-shuffle them into the top of the deck, but prior to that, I'll spend an hour and a half looking at every single bird card, meticulously going over it. It's great. It's so beautiful. Or this power is fantastic.
Well, I'm wondering with this, because they are segregated into 6, whether we try and have a degree of maturity and self-discipline and just do a pack or 2 at the time.
You are more than welcome to do that, my friend. You are more than welcome to do that. Not a problem with me.
But no, they're very cool.
So that's going to take us. So do you know how many birds there are in the game at the moment? Not including fan readers. So base game Europe, Oceania, Asia.
My guess is something around 450.
Oh, wait, did you know that?
No, that was a guess. I mean, I probably semi-knew that.
446.
Oh, there you go.
That's remarkably close.
Yeah.
I'm never going to catch
maybe it was in the back of my mind from somewhere.
With this promo pack, it's 150 new birds. That's 596 birds.
Yeah. So it's going
bonkers
to make up about a quarter of the birds in the game, then, isn't it?
And then come March, we're going to have another 90 birds. That's taking us to about nearing 700 birds.
Yeah, wow. Over the course of a few months, we're not far off doubling.
Good point.
Not far off doubling the birds.
Exciting times to be a Wingspan fan.
Unless you're the nominated shuffler of each game, in which case it is.
You need to work on your shuffling skills.
Very sad times.
Fine.
But yeah, really cool. And again, we can't say it enough. Huge props to the designers for these. It's really cool. I appreciate the effort and time that's gone into them. As well as obviously always ever to Jamie and to Elizabeth Hart.
And to all the fan designers, your efforts will be rewarded. We will value these cards very highly. So thank you for contributing to the game. Because what's better than just getting more content of something that you love.
Right, and the listener, just before we move on to the listener, tell us what you think. If you've had a look at these and you're like, actually, this bird's really cool, or this bird's really not cool, or here's a combination this bird might work with, let us know. Write on Spotify, email us at fulltuckpodcast@gmail.com, and let us know what your thoughts are, and we'd love to discuss them next time.
Definitely. Right, opening hand time for next week. Should we give these a big old read? Okay, so stretch your legs. I don't know, carry on driving, whatever you're doing. Just carry on listening straight through. But we're going to take a quick break, deal some random cards, and then come back with an opening hand for next week. Right, starting hand time. We are playing a 5-player game.
We are,
because we're playing a 5-player game with our friends next week. So let's do a 5-player game.
Let's do it. And we're going last. We're going fifth.
We're going last. Yeah. Okay. So who should read? Do you want to read?
Yeah, I can read. I'll take this one on. So we've got 5 cards as usual. The 5 cards are as follows. The red-backed shrike lives in the fire, costs a witch tea grub, a rat, and an anything. 5 bird points. Bowl nest. 2 egg capacity, brown when activated power, steal 1 witch tea grub from another player's supply and cache it on this bird. They gain 1 food from the bird feeder. Next is the small minivet, which lives in the forest only, costs a witch tea, has 3 bird points, bowl nest, 2 egg capacity, white when played power, play 1 additional bird in your forest. You may ignore 1 witch tea or 1 egg in its cost. Third is the little penguin, which lives in the water, costs 3 fish, 7 points, star nest, 2 egg capacity, predator, brown when activated power, draw and discard 5 cards from the deck for each fish in their food cost, cache 1 fish from the supply on this bird. The white-crested laughing thrush lives in the forest, costs a witch tea, a wheat and a cherry, 6 bird points, bowl nest, 4 egg capacity, flocking, brown when activated power, tuck 1 card from your hand behind this bird. If you do, gain a witch tea grub, a wheat or a cherry from the bird feeder. And finally, the scaled quail, which lives in the fire, costs a wheat, 0 bird points, pebble nest, 6 egg capacity, brown when activated power, lay an egg on this bird.
Excellent. Your bonus cards are Nest Box Builder. Now that is birds with cavity nests or Canada nests, and you get 7 points for getting 6 or more birds. And then the second is Enclosure Builder, which is birds with rocks or pebbles nests. Yeah. And again, you get 7 points for 6 or more birds.
And then we've got the face-up tray. So we've got the tawny frogmouth, which can live anywhere, costs 2 witch teas and a rat, 5 bird points, a sticks or platform nest, 2 egg capacity, predator, brown when activated power, reset the bird feeder, cache 1 witch tea or rat from the bird feeder if available on this bird. The Australian magpie, which lives in the fire, costs a witch tea and 2 rats, 4 bird points, stick or platform nest, 2 egg capacity, a yellow game end power, discard 1 egg from each bird in this row and column that has an egg on it, excluding this bird. For each discarded egg, cache 2 wheats from the supply on this bird. And finally, the common nighthawk, which can live anywhere, costs 2 witch teas, 3 bird points, pebble or stone nest, 2 egg capacity, brown when activated power. If this bird is to the right of all other birds in its habitat, move it to another habitat.
Nice. Nighthawk is such a metal name,
isn't it?
Nighthawk.
Yeah.
Right, and your end of round goals. First round, beaks pointing right. Second round, cards in hand. Third round is a Jacob Brunner fan-made special, which is total wingspan in 1 row. Absolutely love that. We can talk about that next week. And then fourth is cherries and wheats in food costs of your birds. So there you have it, guys. 5 players. We're going 5th. Write in, let us know what you would do. So we take email, fulltuppodcast@gmail.com. We take comments on Spotify. We take comments on any of the platforms we're on. YouTube, we take comments on there, definitely.
Yeah. There's no excuse anymore. We are wherever you are.
Yeah, we're everywhere. Not Imgur, though. Unless you live abroad, in which case you are allowed on Imgur. Yeah. But apparently those in the UK, we're not allowed. We've been banned.
To our fans in Kazakhstan, you can get on Imgur.
Yeah, Lithuanians, not a problem.
Not a problem at all. Yeah. Sierra Leone.
Our one fan from Netherlands, you can crack on.
Yeah, please do.
But yes, and thanks for listening, as always, guys. Leave us a review, like, subscribe, comment.
We'll see you next week.
We love it. Yeah. Have a great week.
Happy birding.